Hey everyone, and welcome to your very first German lesson. My goal here is simple. I want to help you start speaking with real confidence. And the absolute best way to do that is to master the sounds of the language first. So today, we're going to crack the code of German pronunciation together. So, here's our game plan. We'll kick things off by showing you why German is actually way easier to pronounce than you think. Then, we'll cover the standard letters, a lot of which you already know, and then get into the really critical sounds that are different from English. After that, we'll meet Germany's 4 special characters, learn some powerful letter combinations, and wrap it all up with a simple toolkit for you to practice with. Sound good? Let's jump in. Okay, so here is the best news you're going to hear all day. German is a phonetic language. What does that mean? Well, unlike English, with all of its insane exceptions and silent letters, German almost always follows the rules. Seriously, just think of it like a code. Once you learn the keys, which I'm about to give you, you can unlock the sound of pretty much any word you see. No guessing required. All right, let's dive right in, and we're going to start on some familiar ground with the standard letters. You already know most of these, so this is where we'll build our foundation. The best part about starting German is that a whole bunch of letters sound almost exactly like they do in English. I mean, look at these examples. For the most part, you can just lean on the sounds you already use every day. It gives us a fantastic head start. But, of course, there are a few little rules to learn. Okay, here's our first key pro tip. Now, the letters D and G sound totally normal at the beginning of a word, like in danke or gut. But at the end of a word, they harden up. A D starts to sound like a T, so the word for hand is pronounced hand. You hear that? It sounds kind of like hunt. Same thing for G at the end of a word, it sounds like a K. The word for day is pronounced Tag. It sounds more like talk. This tiny little switch makes a huge difference in sounding authentic. And let's log in 3 more quick single-letter rules. First, whenever you see an S at the start of a word, it's a soft sound, like in English Z. So the word for sun is Sonne. Next, the letter R at the end of a word or syllable, it often softens into a gentle A sound. Listen to the word for teacher, Lehrer. See how it sounds more like lecha? And finally, an H that comes after a vowel is almost always silent. Its only job is to make the vowel before it long and drawn out. The word for to go is gehen. That H is just stretching out the E sound. All right, now for the really fun part. I want you to think of these next 5 letters as the secret handshake to sounding German. These are by far the most common mix-ups for English speakers, so if you can master these, you are going to be way ahead of the game. Let's break these down one by one. First, the letter J in German is always a Y sound, like in yes, so the word for yes is ja. Simple enough, right? Next up, Q. It always comes with a U, and together they make a k sound. Listen, Quelle. Now for the big one, the V/W switch. In German, the letter V sounds like an English F, so the word for father is Vater. And the letter W sounds like an English V, so the word for water is Wasser. Just burn this into your brain. V sounds like F, W sounds like V. Got it? Okay, and finally, the letter Z is always a sharp T sound, like the sound at the end of the word cats, so the word for time is Zeit. You're doing great. You've got the standard alphabet down. Now let's add 4 new unique characters to your toolkit. These are called the Umlaute. Those are the vowels with the 2 little dots over them, and the Aset. I know, they look a little intimidating, but trust me, they're not as tricky as they seem. First up is the A umlaut. This one's the easiest of the bunch. It simply makes an eh sound, just like the E in the English word bet. So the word for apples is Äpfel. That's it. Simple as that. Okay, now for the U and the U. These sounds don't really exist in English, but I have a fantastic little trick to make them perfectly. Let's try it. For the I want you to shape your lips like you're about to say O. Go on, try it. Now hold that exact shape, but instead of saying O, try to say the sound E. That sound you make in the middle, that's Listen, schön, which means beautiful. For U, you do the same thing, but you start by making your lips into a tight U sound. Hold that shape, and again, try to say E. That is your U sound. Listen, müde, which means tired. It's all about the lip shape. And this unique character here is called the S-sit, or the sharp S. It's really just a sharp SS sound, and the rule for when to use it is actually super simple. You use the S-sit, the B, after a long vowel sound. For example, the word for street is Straße. Hear that long ah sound before it? Now, if the vowel is short, you just use a normal double S. The word for river is Fluss. Hear that quick short oo? So long vowel, use the S sit. Short vowel, use double S. Easy. We are totally in the home stretch now. You know the individual letters, so let's look at some really common letter combinations. And just like before, these combinations have their own fixed, predictable sounds. This is the final piece of our pronunciation puzzle. Okay, let's run through these. E-I always makes an I sound, so the word for my is mine. Now if you flip it, I-E, that always makes a long E sound. The word for here is here. The combination EU makes an oi sound, so new is neu. SCH is a gift. It's always the sh sound. Like in shoe, the word for school is Schule. And finally, the tricky CH. It has two sounds. After back vowels like a, o, or u, it's a hard sound from the back of your throat, kind of like you're clearing it. Listen, Buch. But after front vowels or consonants, it's a soft, hissing sound from the front of your mouth. Listen, Milch. And lastly, just a few special combinations that pop up at the start of words. When st is at the beginning of a word or syllable, it's pronounced st, like in Straße. Same idea for sp, it's pronounced sp, like in sprechen. And lastly, this pf combination is a quick little puff sound you make by pushing air through your lips. You can hear it perfectly in the word for apple, Apfel. And just like that, you did it. You've just learned the entire German phonetic system. So let's wrap this all up and summarize the most important rules into your own personal pronunciation toolkit. Look, if you're going to practice anything from today, start with these 5 rules right here. Mastering these will get you like 90% of the way to having really clear pronunciation. First, that V/W switch. V is f, W is v. Second, J is always a yes sound. Third, Z is always that S sound. Fourth, the crucial vowel pairs. AI is I and EI is E. And finally, get comfortable making the 2 different ch sounds, the hard ach and the soft ich. So there you have it. You officially have the keys to unlock German pronunciation. The code is cracked. Your next step is just to practice these sounds, say these example words out loud, and just start listening for them whenever you can. In our next lesson, we'll start putting these words together to build sentences. Thanks for learning with me, and I'll see you then.